I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you.
What's up, everybody? I'm Fu.
And I'm Jay.
And tonight, as usual, y'all have tuned into Unplugged, Free Your Mind, where we're going to discuss an array of topics from an unfiltered point of view. Tonight, we're missing one of our co-hosts due to some unforeseen circumstances, but y'all know how he'll be in and out, and he'll definitely be back next week. We have a special guest tonight. And in the meantime, if you're tuning in, please make sure that you're putting in the city and state where you're tuning in from, because we want to make sure that everybody connects. Tonight we got a special guest, big brother to the show, Kimani Bravehorse. We had a conversation a couple of days ago, and he said he wanted to touch on it. And I was like, "Yo, my man, if you want to come on the show, then feel free." And since tonight is kind of the way that it is, if anybody wants to come on camera to kind of put their point of view on what we're talking about, feel free. Because bottom line is, this is a no judgment zone. We ain't on it like that, but just understand that there will be pushback on both sides. So, and while when I bring in Kimani or whatever, I'm gonna go ahead. If y'all see my head down, it's only because I'm tagging and sharing and everything like that to get as many people on as we possibly can, because the information that we're gonna be talking about tonight, people need to know about, need to understand the reality of what's exactly going on. So, without further ado, got my man on.
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
We can hear you. And it's
what's up, sis? Long time no see, man.
How have you been?
Man, good as ever. Good as ever. How y'all been?
Real
good that way.
I just got unblocked off Facebook about 3 hours ago. 30 days.
Oh wow.
You know how that is, man. I said something about, well, hey, I want to get y'all blocked.
Yeah, just talking cool. Just talking cool.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, it was at the height of when Kanye had released some statements about Hitler, and he said that Hitler had done some good things too. And you know, I guess that was anti-Semitic in so many terms, but and you know, to some people or whatever, because there's, you know, certain things that certain cultures you can't talk about at all, it seems. But I said, yeah, he did do some things. He did do some good things. He did some great things, and I listed some of the great things that he did. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of good things. So Facebook didn't like that, and they blocked me for 30 days. Couldn't tell me why. Hate speech. Nothing in there I said, nothing in there that I say was hateful. But this man, if nothing else, and I'm not even going to talk about the contributions he had for and the respect that he had and adoration that he had for the Black American. Like out of this world respect that he had for the black American. And if you pull up Jesse Owens' on his deathbed, he releases a bunch of stuff, and he said that the United States signed him to a secrecy affirmation to where he couldn't say anything about what happened in Germany. So when they're showing all these movies about Jesse Owens and Hitler getting mad because he won and he's racist and all of that, dude said Hitler took him out to eat twice while he was over there, once before the Olympics and then again after the Olympics. And he said he had to change hotel rooms 3 times because German women kept finding out where he was at, and his coach said he wasn't getting enough rest. And my grandfather said the same thing. He was over there in World War II. Germans loved Black American men. When I went over there in '93, it was the same way. So
yeah, that's the part that I think people tend to forget, because the average person is only going to go by whatever history they're told.
Right.
And unfortunately, in today's society, especially because of these right here, the microwave society has forced people to stop independently thinking. And I think that that's very dangerous, because it can't just be one side. I'm not saying you're not supposed to have your own point of view. We're human. That's a given. But when you start listening to other sides, it should make you think like, wait a minute. hold up. Something just don't add up. I can give y'all my greatest example of that was I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to 8th grade. As a kid, for me, I had said in class, how did he get all them animals on them boats and the lions didn't eat the zebras? Like, something don't seem right to me. That it just didn't add up to me. But instead of them kind of giving me a synopsis or whatever, it was a matter of, nah, don't say that. Hell, you mean don't say that? But that's the world that we live in, because unfortunately, everybody wants to be force-fed information and they just accept it and that's it. And to me, that's dangerous, because when you start looking at the way things are over here in this country, we're the only country that don't fight. We don't fight until something happened to us individually. When something start happening to us individually, then people want to speak up. Over in other countries, they ain't having that shit. Once something go down, they deep, but they don't show us that. We never see what goes on in other countries at all.
Man, they had 2 million people outside of one building in Brazil. 2 million people outside of one building, the election center, man. Bro, they've beaten us as a people down to the very lowest compound of an individual. I mean, in every single way, they've taken love away from us. They've taken what I was gonna call you about a subject today, man, that I wanted to touch on. And y'all can, if y'all want to, if y'all don't have to, it's y'all show. But there's a video going around where this lady says, she explains how submissive she is to her husband, how she's happy to be submissive because she chose him. Y'all seen that video? Right. And bro, I'm reading some of the comments from these sisters, man, and you know me, man. I'm usually the one that comes down hard on the brothers, bro. I'm usually here to light the brothers up. I let the sisters take care of the sisters because I never want to do this male, female, brother sister bashing thing. Right. But some of the comments, bro, it doesn't make me angry at all. What it does is it saddens me, because these women that I ain't no way in hell I'm submissive. They're going that's over there. That's because they got the threat of death. That's why they gotta make them dress this way. I mean, they coming up with all of these reasons for these women to be submissive to their husbands, right? Notwithstanding the fact that my grandmother was submissive to my grandfather, and my great uncle, and my great aunt, and my other great aunt, they were all submissive to their men. They didn't have crazy religion, none of that stuff. It's the reason it saddens me as opposed to making me angry, bro, is because that tells me that these sisters have never experienced a real man to where they can just bathe and be baptized in their own femininity because they got masculinity right here. It's natural for a woman to be submissive to a man. I'm not talking about when I come in the house, you bow, and I say jump, you say how high and all of that crazy stuff. That's bullying. I'm talking about natural. So, I mean, it's like the lady said in the video, I chose this man to lead me. Why would you choose him and then buck, go against what he says? And I'm a traveled man, bro. I've been a few places. And to do that traveling, your whole life, and then, retire at 39, 40 and come back here and see that, like, we're the most, as it relates to couples, we're the most divided couples on planet Earth. The American black man and woman are the most divided. Now, you can say what you want about the Middle East. Oh, they'll cut their heads off. And they can't speak when it comes to the room. All of that. No feminine and masculine goes at it with each other like the black American man and woman, bro. And it's sad as shit. And you have to, like, see the rest of the world, like, to know what I'm talking about. Like, everything goes to bat. Like, every male will go to bat for its woman. You don't see in Nicaragua, South America, Central America, Africa. You don't see dudes beating up women, you know what I'm saying, and all of this shooting women and all of this putting women in. Dude, how how off you have to be for a man to put a woman in such a masculine category that you can shoot her. You know the mental illness that requires, bro. Like to put like it's certain niggas that I wouldn't even shoot. Like we go hands. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel bad if I shot this nigga. You know what I'm saying? If I shoot a nigga, it's gonna be a big nigga that you shouldn't have been messing with my little ass in the first place. That type of shit. But to be able to put a woman in that category in your head, to dude, that's fucking bananas to me.
Yeah, but I would tell you that Jermaine has been saying something for a few years that really strikes to what you're saying. Unfortunately, everything has become transactional. Everything has become transactional. So when you start talking about, we talk about our relationships between our men and our women, with a lot of women, mind you, everybody, I'm not talking about all women. With a lot of women, their biggest thing is, what can you bring to the table financially? If you can't bring that to the table financially, then they look down on you, not realizing that. And this is just me. I'm speaking to like I know Ebony is on, and I know you're on, Kimani. I'm speaking to people who are a little bit older than me. In my personal opinion, what I always love about relationships, if you get into the right one, there is a balance where your significant other can be that part of you that you're not. When you got opposites like that, that's a balance that's fucking amazing, where it's not always a clash. Will you have disagreements? Of course you will. We're fucking human. Yeah. But when you start, like when I can use myself as an example. The woman that I'm with, she's a natural nurturer. It's natural for her to be that way. That's not me like that. I do it in my own way, but not the way she can do it, because it's coming from a feminine aspect.
Exactly.
As a man, we shouldn't be doing that shit any motherfucking way. Not from that. Can we nurture? Of course we can, but not like that, because we're not built to do that shit.
You know what, bro? You know why relationships don't work, man? It's because of that term that you just used. What we bring to the table, like the reason they don't work is because what we're looking for somebody to bring to the table, bro. First of all right, let me ask you this, right? Would you rather have a man that made $200,000 a year, working 9 to 5 every single day, got to go in on Saturdays, right? 150 grand a year? Or would you rather have, but this man couldn't do any of what I'm about to say in the next guy, or rather have a man making 60 grand a year, let's say 70 grand a year, but he knows how to hunt, fish. This other guy don't know how to do any of this. Hunt, fish, make meat out of what he catches, build fires, build shelters, work with animals, work carpentry, work with his hands, those type of things. Would you rather have A, who's making 150 grand a year? You can buy, so you can have a carpenter come, you can have a plumber come, you can go buy your fish from Whole Foods, or a man making 75 grand a year and he's capable of doing all of these things?
Definitely B.
Definitely B. Our problem as a people, A. And that's why all we're looking at is what monetary value somebody can bring to a relationship. And that we pass that same bullshit down to our kids when we talk about breaking generational curses and passing down generational wealth. You got a whole 15-year-old boy that can't change a flat tire, scared to touch worms, don't know how to hunt. You know what I'm saying? What's the real generational wealth that we're passing down? Is it this shit that they gave us that ain't worth nothing? Because here's how they got over something with that, right? They came over here, me and you and Fu, man, you was back at the village with my lady. Me and Fu was out hunting, bringing back our own food, everything, had our own gardens, everything. So now here come white folks with, oh man, we got this potted meat for you, blah blah blah. You ain't got to go hunt, you ain't got to do this. So now we're trading our furs and stuff for the potted meat. So now they say, you know what? We don't even want your furs no more. You have to use this bullshit paper we got right here. And we don't want your furs for it. You got to come work for us for it. So now we working for this shit to buy the potted meat. Don't nobody know how to hunt the buffalo no more.
Exactly.
We stuck on the potted meat. So that's what we think generational wealth is. It's not We don't think generational wealth is stuff like values. Here's how you protect your woman. Here's how you provide for your woman. Here's how you lead for your woman. If you can't do those things, bro, you don't deserve a woman. Type shit. We don't pass down that your daughter should bring her boyfriend to her father to ask for permission to court her. Fuck dating, to court her, to even speak consistently to my daughter, fam.
Yeah, no, they don't do that anymore.
Right. And that's because we thinking about what a motherfucker bring to the table. That's it. Women will date a rich idiot before they date a hardworking man that knows how to hunt and fish and everything else, because his shoes dirty. He drive a pickup truck. He don't drive a, you know what I'm saying, a Benz or a Bentley. What do you want? It's the question is, what do you want at your table? Because if that nigga gets fired, or if the economy crashes, he ain't got shit. He ain't got nothing. He can't call Paul to come hunt for him. Paul gone hunting for his family. He can't call a carpenter. He can't call nothing. And that's one of my biggest problems, man. And I know, Fool, what you want to talk about, but it kind of ties in, man. And we just don't pay attention to what's real. Like the price of food, man.
Before you even go there, hold that thought. We definitely gonna touch on that.
Okay.
I called Jermaine about this earlier, and this is something that irks the fuck out of me, and it's been irking the fuck out of me for a couple years. I'm in Kroger. I'm walking over by the milk section. There's two coworkers talking, a young dude and a young chick. And I heard the dude call the chick bruh 3 times. And I turned around and I said, I really don't mean to be in y'all conversation, but young man, I have to ask you this question. Why are you calling a female bruh? Please, I would love to hear this explanation, because I don't get it. Because in my eyes, that's a form of disrespect, because you're calling a female a man. And he was like, nah, it's not like that. It's something that I do, this, that, whatever. And then the girl said, my brothers do the same thing. Now, here's the thing about this. I said, what would happen if you told your brothers you don't want them to do that anymore? They're going to stop. She said, actually, I didn't like it. I just started to accept it. That's my issue, because now in today's society, we accept so much bullshit that people start to let it fly. Now, as a woman, and this is what I told her to her face, do you realize how much power you have? If you told your brothers you don't want them to call you bruh anymore, they're not going to let another man call you bruh. That shit would be ended. And she was like, you know what? You right. Exactly. So it starts and it ends with you. You're the one with the power. Say that shit. I don't feel comfortable with you calling me bruh. Then the young kid was justifying and said, well, what happened if you call a dude a hoe? I said, if you call a dude a hoe, that's them fighting words. It's gonna be a problem if you call a nigga a dude a hoe ass nigga. That's not some shit that is just cool. That's not a term of endearment. But the issue for me is thinking about how we grew up. If I would be outside with my friends and my grandmother heard me call a girl bruh, she'd be like, who the fuck are you talking to? The boys are over there. Yeah. You don't talk to no female like that. But that's, once again, people will say to me, well, it's not that serious. It is that serious, because you make things so not serious that it's okay. And we gotta get past that shit.
But I had an old head in the military, man, told me something, man, when I was 19 years old, and it stuck with me forever, bro. And he said, and it helped me shape my character. He said, every time you walk past something that is substandard and you keep walking, you just set a new standard. So when you see something, bro, that's wrong and you don't say shit about it, it's okay with you. And I'd rather be, I don't care if there's 1 million people, bro, believe in something that's wrong. I get on stage in front of 1 million people, bro, and say, y'all wrong. Y'all all absolutely wrong. Because somebody, it might ignite something in somebody else, But the way that we got to this whole, I was talking about this the other day, man, how they're trying to identify regular ass people. Niggas are like women. boys are like girls. The natural order of things, they're calling us cisgenders now. So what they're doing is dumbing it down. What they're pretty much doing is dumbing it down to saying you can be an LGBT or cisgender. You can be whatever you want. You have a choice to be to fit any of these categories you want. I'm not a category motherfucker. Y'all are. You crazy motherfuckers are. I'm normal. I'm what the fuck they call normal. You clowns, you know what I'm saying, have a category that y'all have to fall off into. They're doing it now, man, with these kids. And bro, if I had I do. I got a little man, and there's no way he would ever be a part of this system. They're making it now, man, to where they're telling these kids that everyone has a masculine side and a feminine side, so you have to identify as we. You know what I'm saying? And you can use whichever side you want to. So when I talk to you, one person, foo, I refer to you as they type shit. Oh, you lost your fucking mind.
You are.
You lost your fucking mind, bro.
They have. It's gotten very specific.
Like, ain't nobody saying nothing, sis. Ain't nobody. We should be in. Where are black people on this? Because the bad part about this, and niggas get mad when I say this, dude. White people are all over this shit, and they not even really doing it. They playing with them. They force feeding our kids, especially in Atlanta. They force feeding our kids. I had a mentee of mine out here this summer, right? And his mom had told me that he had got suspended twice. Now his mom is really into this. If people want to be gay, let them be gay. It's their choice. Da, 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 da. So he was embarrassed to say why he had gotten suspended. Bro, I get him out here. He got suspended for calling a boy bro, but the boy identified as a girl. So they suspended him for bullying, bro. For bullying. Like, do y'all even understand the seriousness of the times that we're living in? This next generation that's coming up, the boys won't even like the girls. The girls won't even like the boys. It won't even be a thing, a natural attraction between them. You know what I'm saying? Like this, does anybody understand how the birth rate is about to drop amongst our people unless we grab our boys and say, look, motherfucker, this is what boys do. That's what girls do. Period. Like, but we're not. We're not.
I'm with you 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we have to understand, and it can't be looked at as taboo, and this goes for everybody. Universal law is universal law. You can't skirt around that shit. That shit is right there. Universal law is plain and simple. There is no gray. It's black and white. No, I'm not talking about race, motherfuckers. Anybody want to make a comment like that? Because I know we have a certain viewer of two viewers that'll say that shit. When we start talking about stuff, it's nothing wrong with actually having real conversations like this, because it's actual reality. Universal law literally is universal law. You don't see, unless they tamper with the water and chemicals and shit like that, animals don't mix and mingle. Animals, there is a male, there is a female, and they move accordingly. And it's always been like that. But motherfuckers want to alter shit. But in my personal opinion, when I look at certain things, y'all stupid motherfuckers keep on wanting to play God. Y'all go ahead and have at it and want to play God. Because the one thing I know, and a lot of other motherfuckers know, karma is undefeated. Karma and motherfucking oh shit. I had a feeling it might happen. Karma and Father Time is completely undefeated. They have never lost. So y'all keep on fucking around and doing that shit if you want to, and it's gonna come back to bite you in the motherfucking ass without question.
My bad.
So like stuff like that. Come on, yo. Not my fault. Now go ahead. The reason why Kimani originally came on is because he mentioned something to me about the price of food. And I was like, my man, feel free to come on the show and talk about it. So the floor is yours, Holmes.
Hey, my bad, man. I was trying to get my background like sis right there.
Don't do it. Nah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot from the last time.
I ended up hanging it up, man. Yeah, I ended up hanging up. But what I wanted to mention was like, okay, it just goes along with everything else that we talked about tonight, right? Like we see these things, man, but nobody says anything, so it becomes the norm. Bro, it's me, my lady, and my little man out here, right? We go through 350. We can go through $350 worth of groceries 6 days. 6 days easy, bro. And we don't eat like that. We little people. The price of groceries has gone up 400% in some places. Over 200 food plants have been burned down in the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So the prices of food are steady going up. But it, bro, I see stuff, man, and I don't. The spell that we're under is so amazing to me, man. That is because you'll see people posting about everything else, bro. Everything. I see basketball. They post about this niggas still like heavy into like sports and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, it's 2023 now. Don't we know that that's the Emperor's Circus by now? I don't know what just happened. Y'all still there?
Yeah, we good. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, we're here.
I don't know what just happened, man. I'm looking at myself. That's
No,
weird.
Nah, you're fine. I said it so everybody just sees you. You good?
Oh, okay. So yeah, but it feels weird to look at myself, man. But yeah, man, I just wanted to talk about that. Like we talk about everything else, right? We talk about everything else, and like even take these so-called revolutionary organizations, man, and these community organizations and these so-called activists and all of this stuff. We never attack real issues, like all of these, like the revolutionaries. When I tried to shift our focus over into sex trafficking, nobody wanted to tackle that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to tackle the high prices of food. Nobody wants to talk about that. And food? Are you serious? Food? Like I know people that ain't stepped foot in the fucking grocery store in 2 years. So they done took again, they done took you and my lady sitting in the village and me and my man out there fishing for our fish. They done took that from us. Now we gotta go buy the fish. And now niggas so lazy that you get your food delivered to you. Remember when your granddaddy, sis. Remember when your granddaddy didn't remember when your granddaddy wouldn't eat nobody but your grandmama's cooking? Anybody ever done that like that? Dude,
Absolutely, our family was like that.
he didn't want nobody. I don't want nobody with my ladies cooking. Dude, they got Uber Eats now. It's 6-7 motherfuckers touch your food. It's done stopped at lights. It been in passenger seats. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't know, man. Like it's so much food.
Food
It's
is
food,
expensive.
y'all. It's food. I made a post today. And it's crazy when you stop and think about it. Slaves ate healthier than we do now. I want y'all to think about that. They grew their own food,
Yeah.
and the only meat that they could get was like chitlins and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But at least that was a real pig.
And they cleaned it.
Yeah, and they cleaned it, and they got the ribs from the cow, that sort of thing. So they raising the cows. They know what the cows are eating. They raising all their own vegetables because if they didn't raise their own food, they didn't eat. The slaves, the what do you call that? What do you call it? That period, chattel slavery.
Chattel.
Whip across the back, change your name to Kunta, ate better than us, and we so-called free.
Nah, I'm gonna say this, and I've been meaning to make this post, but I just haven't done it. Not everybody, but I'm gonna say probably 95+% of society, especially over here in the United States, we're fucking drug addicts. Period. And when I say we're drug addicts, I have to think about what I'm saying. A majority of the shit that we ingest are chemicals.
Sugar, bro. Sugar is more addictive than crack.
Yeah. When you think about now, and now mind you, this is gonna hit every melanated person the same motherfucking way. grape soda don't taste like no motherfucking grapes at all. That shit don't taste like no motherfucking grapes. What they do, and this the shit that'll hit you hard. If you think about the flavored shit like that, it's the smell. It may smell like something, but it does not. Grape soda don't taste like no strawberry soda. Don't taste like no strawberries.
Hey, remember in the Matrix, man, when dude betrayed Neo and all of them, and he came out of the Matrix, he was meeting with the agent, and they sat down at that steak dinner, and he was like, "My mind is telling me that this is delicious." Oh no, he's like, the Matrix is telling me that this is delicious, and he was like, he's still eating it or whatever. Bro, the Matrix tell you, bro, if the Matrix started telling people that grape soda is now Apple, the whole next generation will equate that with being Apple. Because nobody, we talked about the generational wealth. Nobody is passing down the generational wealth of thought. We pass down money. Well, guess what? There's 8 of us in my family, brothers and sisters. 4 of us are terrible with money. Terrible. That's half. Are terrible with money. So you pass your child down your $50 million legacy. All it takes is a few bad decisions, some bad company. You know what I'm saying? Listening to that, and it's gone. It's gone. But conversely, you put that energy into teaching your child how to work through this. This earth shit is easy, y'all. Whether we admit it or not, that we make earth hard. This earth shit is easy. How to navigate through this earth, who he is, or who he or she is, what their role is here, and you watch them, grow into that role. So by the time they 18, man, I hear people all the time putting your child out of the house, putting your son out the house at 18 is a generational curse. Nigga, your son not being ready to leave at 18 is a generational curse. Yeah. Because in our native days, you were gone whenever your people thought that you were ready to go out into the wilderness for 40 days and make it back. When you made it back, whether that was 14, 15, 16, you are a man, period. So this whole 18 shit, man, come on, man. Why you think fathers be getting into it with their sons, going knuckles before they leave? Because there's 2 men living together. And when we, in our native days, when the signs of a boy being a man were there, and we thought the time was right to send him off, bro, when he came back to a wife. Like, you proved yourself. And a father, man, listen, the father of the boy was, the mother was nervous because anything happened to him in the wilderness. The father was nervous because this nigga don't come back, or he come back early. I raised something that ain't gonna never have no wife, period. Because he don't get that. The weaker of us didn't get that back in those days. And yeah, him coming back, that's like a big celebration. Like my boy did it. Everything I put into him up until this point made him able to be ready to survive, sustain, take care of a wife and family and that sort of thing. But no, we don't think about that, man. We want to buy it for kids now. We want to buy their way through life, send them off to private schools and all of this crazy stuff, man.
I'm gonna put this out there for all of y'all, especially if you're parents. If you allow your children to eat candy, and I'm gonna say especially chocolate, I'm saying specifically chocolate, they are putting soy in every bit of chocolate that's out there. If you don't believe me, turn over the label. You can be like, what the fuck? So most people will say, well, what's the issue with eating soy? Soy has estrogen in it. If soy has estrogen in it and you're feeding that shit to your little boys, what do you think that's going to end up doing over time? Be mindful of that shit. And when I tell you, if you check every single package of chocolate, anything that got chocolate in it, look at the last ingredient, or look at it's going to say contains milk, soy. I'm talking about every single one of them.
You know who America got that from, right?
Who?
China. Every society has their way of, and I used to know all of them, but every society has their way of keeping their men docile. And that's been China's way for centuries. Every soy sauce, they grow soy, they actually just eat soy, you know what I'm saying? And if you look at them, you can't, and I'm not being funny, sometimes you can't tell a Chinese man from a woman till they get naked, straight up, because they're very, very rarely will you see like a cut up, like masculine type of like jacked Chinese dude. You won't see it because they put soy in everything. Soy sauce. They dip their shit in soy sauce. And you said it has estrogen in it, bro. It is estrogen. It is estrogen. Like it is. Its whole chemical makeup is estrogen.
It's crazy because when you, once again, based on what he just said, where do they throw the Chinese restaurants at usually? They throw them motherfuckers in the hood. And as far as us buying that food, I was a victim of it too growing up. What do you do? What do you put in your motherfucking fried rice? Splash that motherfucking soy sauce everywhere. Now, my man, the funny thing is, like, I actually got some shrimp fried rice a couple weeks ago. I was like, let me get some. Oh shit, nah, I'm good. I don't want nothing. I'm fine. I just eat it like it is. I can't even, because, but that takes the discipline. Like most cats, they can't differentiate that. Where it goes, you have to get to the point where you're not doing what you're used to doing. It's not that hard. And once you, because this is how you could, this shit right here is, you're in control of this.
Right.
You can choose to say yes or no. Stop letting motherfuckers make decisions for you.
Bro, that's the same with like people will say like, I love my kids or I love myself. Or we throw love around. You got niggas say, I love my car, I love that song, I love this, I love that. Everything inanimate, everything that is not capable of returning love to you, right? But specifically when they say I love myself and I love my kids, well, do you? Do you? Like if you don't, like if you're just ignorant of something, everybody's ignorant of something. There's something everybody. Ignorant just means to not know. If you don't know, then you can, they say ignorance is bliss. But if you love your kids, why would you send them off to an indoctrination camp? That's one thing to me. If you love yourself, there's a lot of shit you wouldn't do to yourself. First of all, you wouldn't, if you loved yourself and you saw yourself as the superstar that you really are, you wouldn't have Sean John, and I'm dating myself because I don't know what the style is now, but you wouldn't have nobody's name across your shit. You know what I'm saying? If you loved yourself, you wouldn't put things in your body that you know are bad but for you, but they taste good, because that's literally the tail wagging the dog, because this is your robot. You know what I'm saying? Like the computer is up here. So like let's just say that this is like crack, right? And I'm a crackhead. And I'm sitting here in my mind, I know that crack is bad for me. I know crack is killing me, it's terrible, but my robot is still lighting this shit and still taking hits. Which one is in charge, sis, the robot or the computer? The robot. The robot's just doing willy-nilly. I'm up there at the computer trying to stop it from doing shit. No, but the robot wants crack, so the robot's gonna do crack. It's the same thing with the chocolate and the hamburgers and all of this stuff, man. Like all of the stuff that you know is bad for you, but you'll still eat it because, and I'm guilty, dude. I had a cheese pizza the other day, bro. I know how bad cheese is, but I'm from Wisconsin, so I love cheese. But that's kind of what keeps me grounded, bro. Like doing what I know is right, because anything else is that robot being in control, and the whole world is full of that, bro. The whole world is full of that. Like, I'm
gonna offer a suggestion for everybody out there, and I did this because I know how I can get, and I have my moments also. Everybody should read this book right here. I don't know if I can get there. We go. Everybody should read this book. And I say that because you'll be surprised at making how far a 1% change in your life can go if you start doing that 1% change every single day, because that 1% can turn into 2% every day. It's crazy when you really think about it, but cats don't think like that, because most people think they got to just go from one extreme to the next. Now, and I know for me, I'm so damn stubborn. I move a certain way. So for me, I like to do things in small steps so I can go ahead and handle what I need to handle. And I know right now, no matter what I say I'm going to do that I don't get done, I'm going to read 10 pages of this goddamn book every single day. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. I'm going to make sure I'm going to take the time out to do that. And then upon me doing that, it's gonna force me to do other shit. Because once again, we get caught in the rat race of doing what we think needs to get done, and we neglect this shit. We always neglect this first. It's always we got to do so much shit for other people or so much shit for other things, and we got to get past that shit. And that for everybody out there, we human, we know it's fucking hard. But something that I keep seeing this shit. I want y'all to understand this. We are the only species on this planet paying to live here. Only us. Ain't no other species on the motherfucking. We talk about zero. Every other species is on this planet living rent free. You know why? Because that's the way it's supposed to be. That's also universal law. But cats, they get caught up in the bullshit, and the powers that be know if we do this, we can get this. And you got people so worried about the wrong shit. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and be stressing over something I ain't got no control over. I'm good. And remember, this for everybody out there. One of the number one killers in America, in the world, is motherfucking stress.
Yes.
That shit will drop your ass like a bad habit if you allow it to. That's if.
I'll drink to that. Hey, that's how you know you're off grid, bro. Jars.
Nigga, I'm on grid. Besides fuck I was drinking out of, it's the same shit.
Bro, man, it tastes different drinking out of a glass. And I can appreciate that.
But it's, for anybody that's watching, like, we don't say this to like belittle anything. We just speaking in reality. And that's the thing about what needs to be done, is that these are conversations that people need to have, because people worried about they still talk about this football shit and all this other shit that happened. Man, I'm good. It is what it is, yo.
Man, it's to touch on that, man.
That was sad,
though. That was super sad, man. But I'm gonna tell you, man, the love of money is, man. I'm retired, man, and I get a pension, right? If a requirement to continue to receive my pension was to do what most of these athletes did, then that is a pension that I would not get. You know what I'm saying? I'd have to get it other ways, bro. It's your that. And a lot of these people know it. Like take the one guy, for example, who had the crazy name. He posted in 2021 that everybody not getting the shit is being selfish and they should go to jail and all of that shit. And boom.
Bruh, let me say this. And I don't know because I know you've been in Facebook jail.
Yeah.
I know someone personally that played football with him.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, his wife found him gone. Now, here's the thing, and this is the conversation. I've been saying this since the beginning. I just said it to Jermaine probably today.
Mm-hmm.
When all of this started, every single person was dropping dead from this. Whatever that's the word that start with C. Now that people are starting to die, they blaming everything else but that B. And that's the bullshit. Because bottom line is you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't sit here and say it's only this for one thing, but then when shit start coming back, it's that. And Peter McCullough, Dr. Peter McCullough, if anybody goes and look, if anybody wants it, I'll send you the tweet that he sent to somebody. He clearly said that was a result of him getting this in his damn arm because it had something to do with the heart, and he broke it down as to why. He said when he saw that play, he looked at it from just a regular person and also as a cardiologist. Because
here's my thing, bro. Like in 2023 now, we've been 3 years of this bullshit. Who still needs a professional to tell them this is bad juice, bro? This is bad shit. Who, if you still need, and here's my thing. I'm a realist, bro, and I know the viewers might not like this, man. I operate on different belief systems, right? Death is not bad for everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody dying is, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't sad for everybody to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, it's okay if they die, bro, because this planet has to come back to a balance. And as long as as long as people still think it's okay for boys to dress like girls and girls to dress like boys and him, they pronoun shit and all of this wicked shit that's going on, as not only do the people that are orchestrating this shit, not only do they have to go, but the people that are sitting idly by and not saying nothing about it, they have to go too, bro. Period. Because all that can be left are people that understand balance, bro. That's it. All your girls that think, you know, they gotta look like fucking cats. And it was crazy, man, because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine I hadn't spoke to in a while. It was a refreshing conversation, man. And we were talking about this whole, because we hadn't spoken about 15 years. So we're talking about this whole tranny thing that's taken place since the last time we spoke, this whole gay thing, and how, you know, her and I were happy when Barack Obama won the first time. And back then it was just the good old days of gays and lesbians. And boom, 8 years later, they got third of the alphabet. The crazy thing is, man, she brought up a good point, and I got to give her credit for this. And I don't want to take the credit for it. She said, because she's in the industry, right? She said they have all of these homosexuals doing the makeup and the styling of these women, right? So when they're doing the makeup, they're making these women look like trannies. And the men are becoming trannies. So that's literally like what I want, like cis. Like pretty soon, sis is gonna be like what? Like they consider you. What they consider y'all, like the plain Janes now? Maybe y'all saw the video with the plain Janes. Remember the chick was talking about. Remember the chick was talking about niggas be wanting them a bad bitch, and then with a plain, they gonna end up with a plain Jane. And she was the one that had all of the long eyelashes. You know what I'm talking about? The
Yeah.
so-called. Yeah, you saw that video. She was caught like I got a plain. My woman a plain Jane. I don't want no baddies. I don't want the long ass eyelashes and, you know, now your nose contour different and that shit come off. I'm like, damn, I didn't know you had a hump in your nose and that shit. So what they're doing is they're making, okay, these fags are making women not look like women, but look like fags, like trannies. And men are getting surgeries to look like women, and they're meeting in the middle with this whole cat looking shit. You know what I'm talking about, with the fake breasts and the BBLs and
Joan Rivers all day.
Yeah, they don't even look like, that's not what a woman even looks like. But they're trying to make it so prevalent, man, and so upfront and in your face and on TV and on commercials and on the rap game and all of that, that's what a black woman looks like. And
I never growing up seeing women the way that I see women, different shapes and everything like that.
Yeah.
Never in a million years would I have thought that I would see so many of our women focus on plastic surgery.
That's a disease. It wasn't for us. It wasn't for the white women did it. Remember that? The white women did that.
And that's why to this day, when I see it, the fact that I have seen it numerous times, when I'm looking at Botox commercials with our women in it. Are you fucking serious? Like,
black don't crack. We don't need none of that. Dude, we go from our women go from fine to, I bet she was fine as hell in her day. That's man, our women go from that. They're the ones that become MILFs at like 25 and 26 and shit start dropping and all of that shit. They start looking bad and shit. Like our women don't do that. But they don't, bro. We've allowed everybody to convince us of what our beauty is, except for us, type shit. Like,
and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this again. I've said this. I've made videos about this on numerous occasions. Once again, ladies, and I don't think I'm talking to a lot of women that follow us that's on it like that. But here's the thing: everything ain't for everybody. And what I mean by that is I know what my preference is in a woman, but every dude don't like a fat ass. Period.
Man.
So when you're out here searching to get that fat ass, you're gonna attract a dude that never really wanted you in the first place because they looking for that. They're not looking at you. It's some dudes out here that's chubby chasers. You got some dudes that only like skinny chicks. It varies. But now they've allowed women, a lot of women have allowed to have themselves put in a box to all look the same. That's not good, yo, at all.
And, dude, that is, no matter what you say, man, no matter what you say, I want to say you hate yourself, but oh, come on, you exaggerating, da, da, da. But this is true. You don't like yourself. You, at the very least, don't like yourself. You have a problem with yourself that you would go and volunteer to get anesthesia, get under the knife, and put shit in you that you don't know what it is, just so you can go out and attract a nigga who's attracted to ass. You should be able to, you should be attracted to a person sitting down on a damn bus on a telephone. I would rather get my thoughts get ahead of me, man, because this subject is so ridiculous to me because it's sad. It's really sad.
Emma in the comments, she's saying that plastic surgery game is about capitalizing on people's self-esteem, and I think that
look,
that's 100. Yeah.
Kimani, I don't know. I'm gonna let you say how you feel about this. Me personally, like when we was growing up, I never really liked Little Kim like that. For me, I just never really saw her like that. I always thought Foxy Brown was sexier. To me, Foxy was sexier than Lil Kim. But for Little Kim to do what she did to herself, I was like,
that's so bad.
It was cute. She wasn't.
It's
but damn.
But definitely, like it is about self-esteem. At the end of the day, it is about self-esteem. But that's just, to me, somebody who just went from it's just so bad. It's so sad because she was beautiful to me.
Yeah. And the thing is, man, it's like, dude, I'm sitting here. Look, this is, bro. Y'all know this. I guess my shit ripped from horses and shit like that, man. When I met my lady, my hair was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't dirty. I was clean, but I didn't have on no name brand, no nothing. And I remember cats, man, when I used to live in Atlanta. I used to be walking around Atlanta and I always had like the half chaps on because I'd just been on left the ranch or something like that. A t-shirt with the sleeves cut off and some old camouflage shorts, right? Even when I used to leave, you saw my crib down in LaGrange, right, bro? Mm-hmm. That's how I would dress. And to me, it was cool because it kept the flies off me. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have on no fancy shoes. I'm not stepping on no fancy car, none of that stuff. So all of the gold diggers and the ones that you got to bring something to the table and that only means money, they didn't say nothing to me because I look like this. I got holes in my shirt. You know what I'm saying? And not knowing I'm going back to a 106-acre ranch with 8 ponds on it. You know what I'm saying? But it keeps the flies off. You attract what you want. If you go get fake ass and fake titties, you're going to be attracted to a nigga that likes fake shit. Because I'm going to keep it 100 with you. If I meet you and we get together and you look great to me. I'm like, man, I ain't never seen a damn nice butt. Da, 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 da. As soon as I find out it's fake, I'm sorry. And it's not nothing that I'm going to try to do. You can't love you. Like, I can't love you if you don't love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to love you first. Exactly. And you don't really love you if you got to put a bunch of other shit in you to love you. You know what I'm saying? That's conditional, dude. That's conditional love of yourself. And that is a mental illness from hell.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I 100% agree.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be mean, man, to anybody that got it or know somebody that got it.
Here's the thing. I've always been, I've taken the stance, do whatever makes you feel good about yourself. Right. It doesn't matter, but I do what I do for me. And I'm not always playing Jane because I have to entertain. you know. So I
Right.
do wear makeup. Now I ain't saying I get into
Right.
the catty stuff. What you talking about?
Right. But
But
since I can, since I can,
that's one of the
since
things.
I can tell by your style. I can tell by your style. You don't do the, and that's what they call the playing games, man. If you ain't got the,
But guess what though? It's really not my thing because I'm just not into it like that. It's certain things that
because you because
you
you like you.
you enhance your beauty. I'm not trying to cover it up. I don't want to cover.
Right.
I don't want to do the absolute most. And I'm definitely not someone who's just going to jump on the train because everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
I've always been like, I'm going to do what works for Jay. And that's
Right.
about it. You know.
Right.
I know one
And
thing. I don't seen growing up. I have seen more women who I really wanted to kick it with or thought truly was beautiful at the goddamn supermarket with some sweatpants on. I ain't talking
that's
about
right.
dressed
That's right.
up. I ain't
What?
talking about dressed up and all that other shit and all that makeup and all
Yeah.
other shit because to me personally, it's too much. When you, I've always been a firm, and this is coming from a man. I've always been a firm believer of makeup and everything is supposed to accentuate your beauty.
Right.
You don't put it on to do some other shit and look like a completely different person. If you have to do that,
Yeah.
once again, like he said, at the very least, you don't like yourself. If you always do that shit because you're doing more damage to good. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this again. I think I said it on last week's show. If you are a woman and you're watching this particular episode, even if you're a dude, I want you to watch it. Go look up a documentary called Not So Pretty. If you watch that shit and you see what they've done and what they put in this makeup shit and the lotions, if you see this shit, it will make you appreciate getting something homemade or getting something where you actually know where it's coming from. Because a lot of the stuff that y'all putting on your bodies is very, very dangerous. Period.
Yeah.
Man, I think we would oh, go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying you got to be careful with everything. You got to be careful with what you put in your body, on your skin. I mean, for years, it's a conditioning. You know, not saying that. You know, some people you have to wake up one day, you know, and really understand what's really going on with yourself.
Right.
You know, versus what's going on out, you know, in society. So it's like you got to be mindful of things. And I ain't saying, I know, like y'all was saying earlier, I know I'm not perfect either, not by a long shot, but I'm more cautious now. The older I get, you know, very cautious, stuff like
I
that.
think we can save a lot of times, and I think we can save a lot of time if we understand a few basic things, right? What a person leads with is their best attribute. That's all through nature. A peacock and their feathers, a lion in their mane.
Yeah,
Everything leads with their best attribute. So when the best thing and the first thing, the biggest thing that you're proud of, first thing you want to show me is that big ass, then we probably have nothing to really talk about. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with a nigga with a car. I remember back in the day, niggas used to call it parking lot pimping. Like 15 minutes for the club let out, niggas pull their whips up in front of because they couldn't do nothing in the club. You know what I'm saying? So now they gotta leave with that car or leave with money, sitting at the bar talking about how many cars he got or whatever. They gotta leave with the money. And I don't know, you probably been on a date with a dude that sat across from you and didn't do nothing but brag about the shit that he had. That's who want to be with a nigga like that? It's the same thing with me is with a woman. If that's what you have to lead with, some shit that you went and bought, put inside your body, and boom, now you want to show that to me. Like we're so many miles apart as it relates to what's important in life that we just won't get along. That's not to say that ain't nobody out there for you, because there was somebody waiting for you to get that BBL, and y'all might live happily ever after. But
yeah,
for me, we're just there's so many miles between like what's important to us that it would never work.
I
That's my
I truly agree, and I think even with basically what you just said, we can pretty much end it right there. But I saw an interview earlier with Talib Kweli and this other dude. I don't know the dude's name, but he was bringing up clothing lines like from back in the day and things like that, and like what's really like VIP. And he said when you in the club, VIP ain't the motherfuckers buying the bottles. VIP is the person who knows the owner, who knows the community, things like that. And that's where our disconnect has come. And we got to get back to nature. Like seriously get back to nature. So the way, what I would say to everybody is, once again, watch that documentary, Not So Pretty. Another one you can watch, and it's on Netflix. It's something called The Devil We Know. And ain't got nothing to do with Jesus, God, or the devil. Just watch it. And you'll get why I said watch it. And become one more with nature again. Me being from Newark, New Jersey back in the day, I was never walking outside with nothing on my motherfucking feet. That's just not, that wasn't normal to me. Now I understand. You need to have your bare foot in some goddamn dirt as much as humanly possible. And if you want the documented proof on that, go on YouTube and watch a documentary called Grounding and Earthing. That shit will change your fucking life. I am dead serious, like without question. And the more you start to get this, the better it will be. But it also goes to show you why you think they want to fuck up the earth so bad. Why you think they want to pollute the water? Why you think they want to put chemicals into the ground to get natural? What they call that shit again? When they frack, they get what? Natural gas. You're going to shoot chemicals into the ground that's going to destroy the fucking earth to get something called natural gas. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, you got, bro. That's why they made in the 50s, man. I want to say it was 56, but they made it mandatory. They made it law that every shoe have a rubber bottom, because back then they still had like leather soles and stuff like that. Bro, you'd be hard pressed to find real leather sole like you had to get a moccasin or some shit. But they said it was because it was to prevent people to ground people, to keep them from getting it's funny that they would use the word ground, now that I think of it, to ground people so they wouldn't get struck by lightning. So all shoes had to have rubber bottoms.
And I'm gonna put this out there for everybody else too. And I got confirmation because one of my best friends is a microbiologist. When I say we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, and had the biggest banana in the tailpipe ever with this fucking alkaline water, it's some gangster shit. I'm gonna say this to everybody, and you can go. I can see this video too, so you can see it for yourself. The water you buy in the store that says alkaline on it is no longer alkaline. If you drink alkaline water, you got 2 days to drink that shit. After 2 days, it ain't alkaline no more. This is straight. I'm talking about this is straight science. If you get one of those machines you have in your house, alkaline your water, you're good. If you want to drop some Himalayan sea salt or put some lime in your water to make it alkaline, you're good. But the shit they selling you in the store
is not.
Hell no. They are selling your ass some motherfucking tap water that they may have put through the machine weeks ago, possibly months ago. So the shit that you drinking, that shit ain't alkaline. Believe me, it's not. We talk about science.
Wow.
Half of them drinking alkaline water, eating fried foods. So the
shit.
Here's the thing, real quick, man. I'm gonna touch on this real quick. All right. Everything on this planet is in 5D right now, right? Except for humans, and that's a whole nother thing in and of itself. I'm talking about the animals, every blade of grass, every drop of water, right? Now, everything has DNA. Water has DNA. DNA is information. So water now has 5D information in it. You know what I'm saying? We should be trying to get our water from as pure a source as possible. Definitely not running it through no machines to alkaline it and electrify it and all of that stuff. Bro, we should be trying to find like the few wells that are still around and indulge in ourselves and drinking it as much as possible, because that's literally 5D DNA. That's living 5D DNA. And it'll help you to bring your thoughts into 5D and your body into 5D. But as long as they keep getting us with these, like you said, these gimmicks of all of this crazy stuff, man.
Yo,
And God knows they got water that don't even freeze, fam. Like
okay.
Dasani.
This is what
Good.
I've been doing at the supermarket. Whenever I see somebody buy Aquafina, Dasani, or any water that says purified, I walk up to them straight up. This is some real shit. Excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but if you don't mind me asking, you pay your water bill, right? They be like, yeah. I'm like, if you got that water in your cart, you paying your water bill twice. That water's coming out the sink. Why don't you just get a zero container and put it in your refrigerator and filter your own water? You're buying water from the sink. Why would you do that? Most people be like, oh, I ain't never think about it like that. I'm like, huh?
Filtered.
Huh?
Yeah,
It's filtered. It's filtered.
No, but once again, right now in my refrigerator, I don't do Brita or Pure. I have a container in my refrigerator called Zero, because that to me is the best one. I will walk out this house. I got a container that's a gallon big or whatever, and fill my shit up and walk out the house every day. I've been saying this for the longest. Comfort creates complacency. Just because it's easy for you to grab a bottle of water, it's just as easy to get you a container you can have yourself and fill it up with water and you're good, rather than buying this shit that they getting out the fucking sink. They getting that shit out, literally out of the sink, and they reselling some motherfucking water that they got out the sink. The same shit you can do yourself.
That's what I was saying. It's filtered.
And that shit is crazy to me. But
now, if you get a good filter, man, then if you get a good filter, then you still get like, okay. Remember, I was just saying like, water has DNA in it, 5D DNA in it.
Yeah.
If you get a good filter, then you still get that DNA. But when you start reversing osmosis and electrifying it and all of that, all of the different chemical changes that you have to do to make it alkaline, then you killing that. But if you get a good filtration system, man, then you're good to go.
And I tell y'all too, when I would go to Kimani's house and get some of that motherfucking water he had,
man, that well water,
that shit was cold as hell, and it was good.
You have it on your property?
Had.
Yeah. No, this is in Georgia. We get our water out of well here too, though. But it didn't. Yeah, that well water in Georgia, man, you could taste the life in that water, man.
Oh, it's one. I'm from Augusta, Georgia, and it's one that
they got a well. What's the street that well on in Augusta?
On Riceboro, you take your own container. Yeah. That is some of the best water ever. Mountain spring water, some of the best water ever.
Hey, they're in Atlanta, man. In Atlanta, the what's that park on Cascade, the Cascade Park. You know what I'm talking about? Cascade Nature Preserve. Y'all been there yet?
I haven't.
Nah.
Dude, I used to go running through the Cascade Nature Preserve when I lived in Atlanta, and literally drink the water coming off the waterfall off the rocks. Man, you talking about
that is the absolute best.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. You can, and it's crazy because it's like this, dude. There's a whole generation from probably the millennials, and there's always some millennials that kind of err on the side or more of Generation X than they do millennials. From millennials on down, who will never know what a real orange tastes like, will never know what a real watermelon tastes like, and will never know what real water tastes like. It's wet. It's so-called quenching my thirst. It must be water. You know what I'm saying? Even though I can put it in the freezer and it don't even freeze. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Leave it in there for days and it don't freeze. Wow. But it must be water because it's clear and they say it's water. Well, it's in a husk and da-da-da-da. It must be watermelon. And man, if you get your hands, I remember I bought a real watermelon from, this is when I was with the gun club in Atlanta. I bought a real watermelon from the farmer's market out there, and my crew had never had, they know what real watermelon was. Watermelon is watermelon. Bro, I cut that watermelon, man. These cats ate the watermelon, man. Cats was posting it on Facebook. It tastes like cotton candy, man. Like the water was literally drips down your arm. You know what I'm saying? Like onions, real onions, they drip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't. You're like, we're the last generation. Us on this phone, we're the last generation to even know what seeded green grapes are. You know what I'm saying? You don't even see those no more.
No, you don't. Nope.
Yeah, you don't, man. It's rare that you see oranges with seeds in them. You know what I'm saying? And again, it just goes back to our thesis of this thing, man. The food. Who's paying attention? Remember when we were kids, right? Homeless people didn't starve to death. Black people's like, get out my yard, get out my tree, nigga. Everybody had trees. Everybody had in the Midwest. Everybody had plum trees, apple trees, pear trees. You know, rhubarb plants. Everybody had their backyard or full. Had one or two trees at least, right? I remember in the '80s, they came through and through the cities and cut down everybody's fruit tree, and they did this shit nationwide. Cut down everybody's fruit tree because they said they had diseases. And now no more. Again, we back to the no more fishing for your fish. You got to go to Walmart and get your apples now. You got to go to Walmart and get your pears now. No more of that. No more of that H3O, which is the oxygen molecule that's given off from fruit. The moisture from fruit is H3O. So we making sure. Hell, they probably done took a molecule out of the water. And there's no oxygen in the food because it's not real food. It's the illusion of food. So there's no oxygen in that. Think about the oxygen levels that are in your major cities. I think Atlanta's at like 39% oxygen. Seriously.
Really?
39. So every person there is getting 39% of the oxygen that they actually fucking need. And so you got
80% and 50% of them got masks on their goddamn face.
Right. So yeah, they're doomed. So you got no oxygen in the water, no oxygen in your fruit, no oxygen in your vegetables if they're all GMO. You know what I'm saying? You're breathing 39% of the oxygen that you're supposed to be breathing, bro. This planet, when before these Europeans got here, it was said that you could get on the top of a tree and at the Pacific Ocean, and you would not fall off that tree till you got to the other. You would not fall off that canopy till you got to the other side of the Mississippi. That's how forested this place used to be.
Yeah.
A huge forest.
Yeah.
Think about all the trees and stuff that they cut down and they don't move. How many 10 million people into Atlanta? Bro, you could fit Atlanta on some of these white folks' ranches out here. Atlanta's not that big, but they stack motherfuckers on top of each other, man. And now you fighting over parking spaces. Nigga, what you looking at my white folk? I don't like that. I don't like the way that nigga look at you. And all of this crazy stuff, bro. We are so far from, I probably sound like a crazy ass old man, but we are so far from our natural state, bro, that we don't care about food and water. There's only 3 things that you need to exist on this planet. That is food, water, and shelter. 2 of them we don't even care about.
No, I was gonna say, and I don't see us getting back to that anytime soon. Unless we're forced to go back to that. And
it's coming. It's coming, sis. Because here's the thing. You got, like I said, I know people that ain't stepped foot in the grocery store in a year, right? They damn sure ain't got no gardens. They getting them delivered, getting stuff delivered to them. And here's the thing. When we go to the grocery store, we do the same thing, the curbside pickup and all of that.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get our garden going. Yeah, we're trying to get our garden going so we don't have to go to the grocery store for nothing. So it's a work in progress. How many people eat out damn near every day and ain't got saltines in their damn cabinet? It's plenty people. I know plenty people that eat out damn near every day, open up that refrigerator, they might have a wine cooler or something in there because they plan on eating out every single day. But what happens when we run out of food, or when they say you can't go get food, or they say you gotta join the club to get food? What are we gonna do, man?
That's scary.
Yeah, our grandparents used to. I remember my granddaddy used to get home. My granddaddy used to be like, "It's a damn shame. It's a sin to have this much goddamn food." Like my grandmama had this
Mhm.
big freezer that we used to call a casket. Right, man, the thing was like maybe 4 feet tall, 6 feet long, and 4 feet wide, packed to the hilt
Oh yeah,
with food. Yeah,
yeah,
remember when the old people did that?
yes.
Remember when they
Every
did that?
freezer.
They didn't trust the system. We
Yeah,
love the system. We love the system so much we want more of it. Niggas at reparations, all kinds of stuff. They just wanted they just wanted all the hunkies, leave them alone. They want a government to leave them alone. They want police to leave them alone. Leave us alone. We got our food. Let us do our thing. I remember my grandmom used to go, all of my great aunts, they would go to each other's houses to pick out of their trees because one of my aunts had 3 plum trees.
Mhm.
My uncle had pears. You know what I'm saying? So they would go at the end of the harvest and
yeah,
pick out of everybody's tree, and we make jellies and jams and all. Eat some of them, all kinds of stuff. Like
you know.
where's that generational wealth? Where's that generational wealth that was supposed to be passed down? They changed what we valued overnight.
Oh yeah,
We value that greenback, man. We chase that bag. We got songs, money, 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 money. We the only ones. Where the white people songs about money, bro? Every song we got is about. Go ahead and look up to the left, up and to the left, sis. Look for them songs about money. The white people. look,
probably.
look. Yeah, I see you tapping into that ability to recall. It ain't. Where the white people songs out about money? We got songs that ain't. Money, sex, and drugs are our only 3 things that'll get produced about us. Period. Man, we the money, got to have it, gotta have it. Money, 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 money. You know, you know, dude,
Money,
we
honey.
already, we
Yeah,
already been hoodwinked. We've been hoodwinked into buying our fish and needing their money. Now we singing about money.
yeah,
Everybody got the money songs. I
yeah,
just got paid Friday night. No, everybody, we all the money people, man.
yeah.
Here's the crazy thing. I don't know if you agree with this, fool, or not. Fool done gave y'all some homework to do. I'm gonna give y'all some homework to do. Listen to a few country songs, like a few just modern country songs, man. It's crazy because that's where you have to go if you still want to hear about love, emotions, real life problems, getting over shit, you know what I'm saying, with your woman and moving on as a couple. You have to go those places because all our music is about I caught you fucking up. I don't need no nigga to the left. Everything, all your shit's to the left and all of that. That's what our music is about now. It's all about divisiveness. We don't really have music about like we used to have about I ain't too proud to beg and
R&B music.
exactly real R&B music where we was man talking about how much we love a woman where it was 5 niggas singing about what how much this one nigga love, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody got their part in this shit. Like
Yeah,
we don't have that. And it's we've become we've become what they've made us. And if you look at country music, it didn't change. They still singing about being in love and stuff like that. And you got niggas talking about I hate country music. Well, you hate hearing about love, nigga. That's how foreign it is to you, ain't it?
yeah. I'm a big fan of Chris Stapleton, by the way. And you're right. Some of that music is, it's
Yeah.
relatable.
Well,
It's relatable if you know love or if you want to experience love, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I remember the crazy thing is I remember when we used to sing so greatly and so intimately and so perfectly about love that we used to tease country music. Lost my dog in my truck. Remember that shit? Remember that shit? Remember
Yeah,
that shit?
yeah, I do.
Now that's where you gotta go if you want to hear something about love.
Yeah,
Or either back to our old school.
yeah.
I remember niggas used to tease country music,
Hmm.
but now, like I said, I know he's about to say something, bro. Go ahead.
No. I'm letting y'all rock out because listening to this, you can hear the difference between 70s music, 70s R&B, and 90s R&B. I'm not saying 90s R&B was good. Don't get it twisted. But
Well,
90s was the last of the good. I in my opinion, 90 brother Drew Hill, the R. Kelly, even though he was doing this thing, you know,
you had Joe. I mean, you had a lot of people.
Yeah.
You had a lot of good music, but once again, we have to think about what they've done as far as mainstream. It's the same way with hip hop. I sit and tell that all day long. I'm only listening to 90s hip hop. But what we don't have on mainstream radio is the underground cats who still rhyme like the cats from the 90s. We don't hear that. All we're going to hear is one particular section, once again, of what they give us. And that's the shit that cats got to get out of. I don't want to hear this shit about, you got to evolve. And fuck y'all. Where my mindset is, where I'm at, with this frequency, I'm cool with listening to shit. I was listening to motherfucking Raekwon and motherfucking Mobb Deep earlier. Excuse me, Ghostface and Mobb Deep.
Hold up. So y'all ain't into mumble rapping?
Huh? You said what?
I said, so y'all ain't into mumble rapping, the mumble rappers.
I ain't into mumble nothing. Look, man. I don't care. Look, I was a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid growing up, I was in them streets, man. Even being in the streets, my granddaddy taught me the value of being able to speak and adjust fire. When you're around niggas, then you talk like niggas. When you're around, you know what I'm saying, somebody where you got to go to an interview or something, then you be able to articulate and that sort of thing. So I don't support nothing that don't speak English, because here's what'll happen is our kids do Atlanta. Case in point, Atlanta got a whole mumble rap tribe. You can't understand them niggas when they ordering fries at JJ Fish Mart. You can't do it. They have a whole. The crazy thing is, I swear to God, I was saying this back in 2017 because I had a dude in my organization that I could barely understand what the fuck he was saying, and his whole neighborhood spoke that way. I was like, bro, y'all could literally be wind talkers. Like, I could put one of y'all on one end of the phone and one of y'all on this end of the phone, and y'all could be telling us, y'all could be saying what was going on, and the feds would never know.
Yeah,
because they had their own language.
Yeah.
And the music did that. They know what they did with that music, bro. They know what they do. They make the stars now. You don't nobody know who don't nobody know no Cardi B song. Don't nobody rock out to Cardi B. Ain't nobody rocked out to Jay-Z in I don't know how long. Ain't nobody Meg Thee Stallion. I can't name one song. They make the stars. They make and to think that people are millionaires off today's music when ain't nobody on this. I ain't asking y'all, I'm telling y'all, ain't nobody on here bought a CD and I don't know how long.
Forever, because don't know how to do that.
Forever. YouTube ain't charging me. I'm using the free one.
Yeah.
So what it is they're giving you, okay, I'll sign you, foo. Here's the deal. I don't care. It ain't about selling records. Here's your $100,000 up front. Sign your likeness over to me, so I have your ass in this dress in 2 weeks. I'm gonna run your ass through the ringer. Drop one album. Make sure you dress like a sissy, and then you don't get no more albums. Period. Here's your $100,000. Enjoy selling your whole damn soul. Meanwhile, you in a year or two, you'll be back in your neighborhood. Niggas be asking why you wore that dress. Trying to hustle, laughing at you.
Once again, based on that one right there, that's really how we gonna end the show. I ain't got nothing to say on that one because I love it. Listen, for everybody out there that tuned in, we want to thank you. Anybody that tuned in, if you're a new viewer, new subscriber, we most definitely appreciate it. Feel free to go check out Kimani Brave Horse on Facebook for as long as he's gonna be on Facebook until he's arrested again, and he's on probation right now. But he's gonna spit nothing but truth, and we appreciate and value all of y'all. And I'm serious. We are organically growing our page, and we appreciate that. We're not going out there just looking for numbers and everything like that. We want real people. All that we ask is that if you're watching right now, if you are subscribed on the channel, go get 10 of your friends that think like you to go subscribe. And tell 10 of them to do the same exact thing so that we can do what we need to do to get the message out. Because bottom line is, and I hope y'all really get this, we have to be our own media.
Yeah.
It's this period. We cannot depend on them for shit. When you trust them for a lot of shit, guess what you're going to get? Shit. And that's exactly what has been happening over and over and over again. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Y'all got to stop that shit. Like, we have to live in the reality of what's really happening. Let's make shit happen ourselves. And if you want something, don't ask for it. Take it. So we appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all. We'll most definitely see y'all next week.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you.